Have you ever felt the pressure to speak just to be seen, to explain yourself just to feel understood, to react quickly so you are not left behind? In a world where everyone rushes to prove their worth, there is a different kind of man. He walks into a room and says nothing. Yet the entire atmosphere bends around him. He does not demand attention. He commands it through stillness. This is not about charm or confidence. It is about something deeper, a power rooted in restraint, in silence, in the refusal to be easily read. Because when you do not reveal yourself, others project their fears onto you. When you remain calm, they become unsettled, and in that tension, you gain control. You have been told that power is loud, that you must express more, react faster, be endlessly available, but that only makes you predictable. The truly powerful man is not the one who proves himself. It is the one who never needs to. So if you are ready to understand the most underestimated trait of real confidence, stay with me. What you are about to learn might change the way you move through every room you enter. 1. Nonchalance is strength. Nonchalance, in its highest form, is not the absence of care. It is the disciplined choice of where your care goes. Many mistake it for indifference, for numbness, for a hollow man who feels nothing and therefore risks nothing. But that is not confidence. That is avoidance. Apathy is what men wear when they are too fragile to feel. Nonchalance is what disciplined men cultivate when they have learned to feel everything and yet remain unmoved by what does not deserve this energy. The Stoics never taught detachment as disinterest. They taught detachment as clarity. To be nonchalant is not to be empty. It is to be full of power and yet show restraint. To possess a fire within and never let it burn the room around you. The nonchalant man is not cold. He is warm with reason, grounded in purpose, and never pulled by the chaos of appearance. This kind of man hears provocation and responds with stillness. He receives praise, but does not lose his footing. He feels the sting of betrayal, but chooses silence over spectacle. He may walk through temptation, injustice, even affection, but he remains sovereign within. Not because he's numb, but because he has trained himself to never be ruled by anything outside of his reason. He sees that to react is to hand over authority. To beg for attention is to reveal weakness. And once you show that you need something desperately, others learn how to bend you. True nonchalance is not about pretending. It is about not needing to pretend. It is the quiet confidence that does not ask for approval because it already holds clarity. Like the calm sea beneath a stormy sky, it carries vast depth while remaining still on the surface. You do not owe the world your explanations. You owe yourself your integrity. You do not need to respond to every insult. You need to preserve your energy for things that matter. In a world that screams for attention, the man who does not rush to speak becomes unforgettable. In rooms where everyone is loud, the one who waits, who watches, who chooses his moment with intention, becomes the one everyone listens to. Machiavelli understood this better than most. He did not admire cruelty or chaos. He understood restraint. He advised rulers not to reveal their entire mind, but to use silence as a form of governance. To him, power did not live in overreaction. It lived in the control of perception. When people cannot read you, they cannot trap you. When they cannot predict you, they cannot prepare for you. This is why nonchalance, when practiced rightly, becomes not just a personal strength, but a strategic advantage. It keeps your power intact and your presence unpredictable. Picture the man who enters a room and says little, not because he is unsure, but because he is certain. When he finally speaks, the room quiets, not because of volume, but because of weight. His words carry something that others sense but cannot define. That is the result of emotional training. That is the fruit of inner command. He has walked through fire without flinching. He has faced his own hunger for validation and tamed it. And now, every step he takes is measured, every silence intentional. This is not a man who hides. This is a man who no longer needs to perform. And in a world where most are performing, that makes him powerful. So if you ever feel the urge to prove yourself through noise, pause. If you want to be heard, speak less. If you want to be respected, stop chasing reaction. Be still, be sharp, be unreadable when necessary, and unshakable always. Because nonchalance is not the absence of emotion, it is the refinement of it. And that, my friend, is the most powerful trait of the truly confident. 2. Silence commands. There is a reason the most formidable man in the room is often the one who speaks the least. He does not need to declare his presence because his silence already does. He does not explain himself because his clarity makes explanations unnecessary. He doesn't rush to speak because he understands that true influence is not in being heard, but in being felt. In a world addicted to noise, to validation, to frantic self-expression, it is the man who can sit in calm stillness that unnerves everyone around him, while others scramble to assert themselves, to react, to interrupt. He watches, he waits, he listens, not just to words, but to the desperation behind them. That is not hesitation, that is strategy, that is sovereignty. The Stoics taught us that he who angers you conquers you. But what if you do not even give him the chance? What if, when confronted with provocation, you do not flinch? What if you allow silence to rise between you like a fog and let the other man reveal his entire mind while you conserve yours? That is not evasion. That is command. Silence is not emptiness. It is concentration. It holds within it the weight of intent. The quiet man is not vacant. He is full of discipline. His silence is not confusion, it is precision. Picture this. Someone insults you, they expect a reaction, a retort, a break in your composure, but instead you hold the line. You meet their insult with calm eyes and a still body. Suddenly, the energy shifts. They begin to unravel. They repeat themselves. They get louder, more erratic. Why? Because your silence has become a mirror. It reflects their need for validation back to them, and they cannot stand to face it. That is the hidden power of silence. It exposes the storm in others by showing them they cannot stir the storm in you. People fear what they cannot predict. The man who always reacts is easy to control, but the man who pauses, who speaks only when necessary, who moves like a chess master rather than a gambler, he becomes a mystery. And mystery is influence, in that space between what people expect and what you actually do. You create uncertainty, and in uncertainty, people reveal themselves. They speak too much, they try too hard, they expose their intentions in an attempt to decode you, but you are not there to be decoded. You are there to observe. This is not about manipulation, it is about clarity. When you are silent, it is not because you are absent. It is because you are present in the purest form. You are not distracted by the need to prove your worth. You are rooted in it. And that rootedness gives you space to choose your words with weight, not with haste. When you finally speak, even one sentence lands like a hammer, not because it is loud, but because it is rare. Rare things carry weight. Let your silence be like the sea before the storm, calm but vast, still but full of potential. Let others spend their energy trying to disturb your waters, while you conserve yours for what truly matters. This is how a man leads, not with noise, but with stillness, not with performance, but with presence, as Marcus Aurelius reminded us. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The man who has mastered his mind does not need to raise his voice. His very restraint speaks louder than chaos. So if you wish to be truly confident, learn to sit with the silence, let it stretch, Let it breathe. Let others fill it with their assumptions. You owe the world no explanations for your peace. And when the time comes to speak, let your words be few but undeniable. Because silence, when it is born from strength, becomes not a retreat from life, but a declaration that you are no longer ruled by it. And in that stillness, you do not disappear, you become unforgettable. 3. Power in perception. Machiavelli did not merely analyze power, he constructed it like a fortress. And among his most piercing observations was this: it is not enough to possess strength, you must be seen as strong in the arena of leadership, in the battlefield of human influence. Perception is not a side detail, it is the foundation. Men are not swayed by abstract truths, they are moved by symbols, gestures, and demeanor. The way you carry yourself can become more persuasive than the most reasonable argument. This is the hidden architecture of authority. When you appear unshaken, people believe you are unshakable. When you radiate calm, they assume you hold the answers. And when you move through chaos with clarity, others instinctively follow. This is the art of Stoic mastery. It is not about playing a role. It is about understanding that your visible presence is often the first battlefield. The disciplined man doesn't allow his emotions to leak into every moment. He does not let tension twist his posture or anxiety pollute his voice. Instead, he chooses stillness as his armor, calm as his signal, restraint as his strategy. He may feel deeply within, he may be burning with intensity, but what he shows is command, and in doing so, he transforms the perception of others. They begin to treat him as if he is already the authority. That is not deception. That is discipline in motion. The Stoics taught that we are not disturbed by events, but by the view we take of them. Machiavelli advanced this idea further. If people believe you are in control, they begin to behave as if you are. And if they behave as if you are, then in time, you truly are. This is why the nonchalant man, the one who does not react, the one who does not explain, the one who waits with quiet certainty, becomes the emotional compass of every room he enters. He is not passive, he is deliberate. He lets others speak first, not because he is slow, but because he is calculating. He lets others reveal their intentions while he remains unreadable. That unreadability is not emptiness, it is power held in reserve. Imagine standing in a room where everyone is trying to impress. Their words race, their energy spills, and there you are, composed, watching. You do not rush, you do not reach, you do not cling. People begin to lean toward you, not because you demanded their attention, but because you refused to need it. This is the paradox of power. The man who appears to need nothing becomes the one everyone seeks. The one who does not chase becomes the one others pursue. The one who appears calm becomes the one trusted in the storm. You must understand, perception is not vanity. It is not artifice. It is the first layer of influence. When Marcus Aurelius walked into battle, his armor did not just protect him, it projected him. And so too must your presence. When you walk, walk with gravity. When you speak, speak with clarity. When you are silent, let it be full of intent. Let others wonder. Let them speculate. Let them try to understand what you are thinking. That is not a loss of control. That is the essence of it. At the end of every encounter, people may forget your exact words. They may not recall every opinion, but they will remember how they felt around you. Were they at ease or unsettled? Were they drawn in or held at a distance? Did you radiate need or strength? And most importantly, did you leave a question in their mind that only your presence could answer? The truly confident man does not advertise his strength, he embodies it. And the world responds not to what is said, but to what is signaled. Perception is not the shadow of power. It is its first and most enduring light. Carry it with purpose, carry it with restraint, and you will not need to dominate. Your presence will do it for you. 4. Discipline over impulse. At the center of true confidence lies not arrogance, not emotional detachment, but something far rarer. Discipline, the kind of discipline forged in silence, shaped by restraint, and sharpened through the fire of personal rigor. In a world where men are ruled by reaction, where a single moment of anger can destroy a reputation, where desire leaks through glances and movement betrays desperation, the disciplined man becomes unreachable. He is not invisible. He is simply beyond reach. He does not move for applause. He does not react to pressure. He has trained his inner fortress so thoroughly that the storms outside no longer shake its walls. That is the essence of nonchalance, not pretending to be above emotion, but mastering it so completely that you never need to prove anything again. The nonchalant man does not act out of impulse. He responds only when it serves a purpose. He knows the difference between a reaction and a decision. Reaction is immediate. It is noisy. It is often regrettable. A decision is deliberate. It is quiet. It tilts the entire dynamic in your favor. That is the strength Machiavelli pointed to, not charm, not brute force, but control. The kind of control that bends outcomes without needing to force them. The man who reacts to everything becomes easy to read, easy to move, easy to manipulate, but the man who holds his ground, who filters before he speaks, who breathes before he moves, becomes something else entirely. He becomes immovable. Imagine a room filled with noise, people talking over each other, desperate to be seen, to be validated, to prove their worth in real time. And then there is one man who does not participate in the performance. He listens. He watches. He doesn't interrupt. His silence becomes unbearable to those who thrive on approval. His stillness disturbs the ones addicted to attention. And yet, it is this man who shapes the mood of the room. Not because he spoke the most, but because he understood the value of speaking only when necessary. He knows that words lose their weight when they are spent carelessly. So he waits, and when he finally speaks, the silence that came before him gives every syllable gravity. Discipline is not the absence of emotion. It is the presence of judgment. It is what allows you to sit across from insult and not blink. It is what lets you hear mockery and remain unmoved. It is what gives your words precision and your silence presence. You do not need to announce your value when your composure already reveals it. You do not need to explain your choices when your consistency makes them obvious. Most men beg for respect by over-explaining, by apologizing for being different, by performing instead of standing still. And in doing so, they teach others that their value is up for negotiation. But the disciplined man does not ask to be respected. He does not plead for understanding. He does not lower his tone or soften his edge to make others comfortable. Instead, he creates an atmosphere that commands respect without demanding it. He moves with clarity, speaks with purpose, and holds space with intention. He has nothing to prove because he has already proven it to himself. His presence is not decoration, it is declaration. A declaration that says, I am not here to be chosen. I am here because I chose myself. Machiavelli once said, it is safer to be feared than loved if one must choose. But the Stoic knows a greater truth. The one who does not seek to be feared or loved becomes something even more formidable. He becomes felt. And to be felt without forcing it is the highest form of influence. That influence does not come from aggression. It comes from restraint. It is not built through conquest, but through internal command. The one who cannot be shaken becomes the one who silently governs the room. So let the world race to be heard. Let them chase recognition, compete for noise, and collapse under the weight of their own performance. You remain still. You do not need to raise your voice to be noticed. You do not need to match the chaos around you. Your silence will do what noise never could. It will echo. It will linger. It will carry authority not because you demanded it, but because you did not. Discipline is not chains. It is wings. It does not trap you. It frees you from the urge to explain, from the hunger for validation, from the need to be understood by everyone. It grants you the ability to move only when it matters and speak only when it cuts through. When you live like that, you are no longer reacting to the world. You are redefining it. The calmest man in the room holds the most power, not because he forced it, but because he earned it. And once you reach that level of control, the world will adjust around you. You will no longer chase anything. Everything of substance will begin to move in your direction. That is the victory of discipline. That is the mark of the truly confident. 5. Emotional stillness in love. Nonchalance is not limited to strategy rooms or corridors of power. Its most subtle and profound application appears in the realm where most men lose themselves entirely: love, because in the quiet theater of intimacy, it is not the one who loves louder who holds the frame. It is the one who remains composed, the one who can feel fully and yet not unravel. Society has taught men that to love is to surrender entirely, to expose every wound, to abandon oneself in pursuit of affection. But the Stoic knows otherwise. To love does not mean to lose. To care does not mean to collapse. The man who has trained his heart through discipline does not run from connection. He simply refuses to be owned by it. Love is not the erosion of self for the sake of unity. True love, powerful love, emerges from two individuals who remain whole. The nonchalant man offers his love from a place of abundance, not from deficiency. He does not chase because he does not need completion. He is already full. He does not explain endlessly when misunderstood because he knows that clarity does not always require words. He does not tremble when the other person pulls away because his center is not built on anyone else's attention. He is not distant to manipulate. He is measured to maintain his order. And in doing so, he creates a gravity that draws others in. People are not drawn to desperation. They are magnetized by balance. They are fascinated by the one who does not flinch, the one who does not beg for reassurance, the one who can listen calmly even when tension rises. And that calmness is not emotional numbness. It is emotional structure. The Stoics taught that we must not be governed by the passions, but rather govern them in love. This means refusing to perform affection to gain approval. It means choosing to remain stable, even when the emotional winds threaten to pull you off course. Picture this: someone pulls away to test you. They want to see if you will chase, if you will bend, if you will abandon your principles just to hold them close. Most people do. They panic, they explain, they overextend. But the nonchalant man does none of that. He remains still. Not because he does not care, but because he values clarity over chaos. And this restraint becomes something rare, something almost sacred, because in a world flooded with emotional theater, restraint becomes truth. It becomes safety. It becomes the evidence of real strength. Nonchalance in love is not emotional withdrawal. It is emotional sovereignty, the ability to give without losing. The discipline to feel deeply and still choose your response with intention, the strength to remain generous without becoming a servant to the moment. That is not coldness, that is presence. That is the kind of love that does not shake when misunderstood. It holds, it waits, it does not collapse. It refines the emotional tone of the relationship instead of being defined by it. Machiavelli taught that control over perception is power. In love, this means that the one who holds emotional clarity silently guides the direction of the connection. He sets the rhythm, not by force, but by the weight of his calm. And that weight, when real, is unforgettable. The world may celebrate grand gestures, loud declarations, and dramatic chases, but the person who walks in love with composure, with presence, with a steady heart and a quiet soul, becomes the most compelling figure in the room. So if you care, care deeply, but stay rooted. If you love, love boldly, but never beg. If you are misunderstood, clarify only when it serves truth, not validation. Because the one who can remain whole while offering his heart, the one who needs nothing but chooses to give everything with clarity, becomes the rarest force in any relationship. That is not detachment. That is mastery. That is love without chains, and it is this kind of love that leaves an impression long after the moment has passed. 6. Self-respect is sovereignty. True nonchalance is not an attitude you wear, it is a discipline you build. It is not about pretending you do not care. It is about forging an inner life so deeply rooted that no external force can shake it. This is not about apathy, it is about refinement. The man who lives by Stoic clarity does not allow the world to pull his strings. He does not glow when praised and collapse when ignored. He remains centered because he has trained himself to see approval as optional and inner order as essential. Most people are tossed around by opinions, attention, rejection, applause. But the nonchalant man stands still, not from arrogance, from mastery. He has walked through storms without speaking. He has burned through his ego in silence, and he has emerged with something rare, peace that does not beg to be seen. Machiavelli knew this. Power is not found in exposure. It is hidden in the restraint between what you feel and what you show. The one who reveals little but sees much controls the game. And that is what nonchalance becomes when elevated. Not detachment, control. The ability to hold the emotional frame while others fall apart. The ability to stay calm not because nothing matters, but because you have already chosen what truly does. In a world that trades in chaos, your stillness becomes a signal. In a culture that rewards noise, your silence becomes unforgettable. And that is not luck. That is work. That is the elite level of self-respect. When you no longer need the world to name you, you finally become who you were meant to be. Have you ever chosen stillness when the world demanded a reaction? Share your moment of quiet strength below with the words, "Stayed silent." And if this message spoke to you, subscribe and stay ready. The next lesson begins soon.